रही है, ड्रग एडिक्शन हुआ या गैम्बलिंग हुआ, नशे की बात हुई, लेकिन जब प्रार्थना की जाती है तो ये सारी अंधकार की शक्तियां दूर होती है। जब प्रार्थना की कमी होती है तो अंधकार की शक्तियां और तीव्र होती है। तो ये हमको बताया गया कई लोगों के द्वारा कि जब प्रार्थना मूवमेंट शुरू हुआ तो उससे शहर में काफ़ी बदलाव आया।
So I want to ask a question of you, brothers. What's going well in the area of prayer in your city? There are many components, right, that could be involved in a comprehensive strategy as we're building unity, as we're collaborating together. It could be pastors praying together, pastors' prayer fellowship. It could be perhaps prayer walking. That would be another expression of prayer in a city. Intercessors, those that actually are called to intercession. We're familiar with 24/7 houses of prayer, where people, kind of pray day and night for a canopy of prayer. So let me begin here, Renzino. We'll start on this side. And again, I want honesty. Okay, we don't always have to share a glory story. There can be struggle. Okay, this is not easy. Breaking new ground is not easy. But currently, Renzino, what would you say in Gangtok is going well in the area of prayer?
अगर प्रार्थना की बात की जाए तो क्या प्रार्थना के अंदर क्या चीज़ अच्छी चल रही है एक एक शहर में अपने अपने जगह पर। और हो सकता है कभी कभी कुछ कहानियाँ उतनी उत्साहित नहीं हो, लेकिन हम लोग गिरने से भी, हार से भी कई बातों को सीखते हैं। तो हम लोग देखेंगे कि क्या बातें चल रही है।
To drive this prayer movement, there's just a small critical mass, just few leaders that come together. But because of all these different problems in the city, people are starting talking, the local MLA, the representative, they say, drug is a big issue, alcoholism is a big issue, unemployment is a big issue. So where's the answer? The answer is only in the gospel. And why don't we have a prayer? Oh, we already have a prayer, There's a small group which is being led. So why don't we join? So I think this is something good that people recognize that it was a small group of people who are leading, and now they want to be part of this movement. So I think all churches need to come together. And the only thing is that churches are within the church, four walls of the church. They aren't able to go out and see the scope and the movement that which can really address all the social, all the different problems of the city. So this is one thing that is happening in Gangtok, that there are people who have started to talk about it and they are looking forward to come together.
गैंगटॉक में कई समस्याएं चल रही है, भले ही वो अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट हो, बेरोज़गारी हो, या ड्रग एडिक्शन हो, या अल्कोहलिज्म हो, या कोई दूसरी चीज़ हो। और छोटा सा समूह प्रार्थना के लिए मिलते हैं और लोग पूछते हैं कि इसका उत्तर कहाँ पर है। तो उत्तर है सुसमाचार में, उत्तर है प्रार्थनाओं में। और ये बात भी आने लगी कि नहीं, एक ग्रुप है जो मिलकर के प्रार्थना कर रहा है, उसकी वजह से कई बदलाव शहर में आ रहे हैं। तो वो आ रहे हैं और लीडर्स मिल रहे हैं प्रार्थना करने के लिए, तो एक अच्छी चीज़ है।
So Joshua, I want to draw you out a little bit. We just heard the Siliguri story. And I want you to comment a little bit on Saturday morning prayer. If I understand it right, that was a turning point in the whole movement development. So what is Saturday morning prayer, and what are some of the outcomes of that?
I would say the success of Siliguri has been the Saturday morning prayer. I have no doubt whatsoever. Because we see a group of, earlier it started with mostly Nepali pastors and leaders. We kept on praying for the Bengali pastors and leaders to join us. And it took us a long time to see Bengali leaders join, because Bengali is the majority of people in Siliguri. And now we have so many Bengali leaders who join us. In fact, Nepali leaders are getting outnumbered now. Okay? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We have people, Bihari people coming. We have South Indian people coming for our prayers. We have Marwadi people coming for prayer regularly. And this prayer movement has been critical to what we see in Siliguri. Not a very big success story, I want to say, is that we wish more churches in Siliguri would join us. This is a very genuine wish that all of us have. But it's not happening the way we wish. There are about 120 churches in Siliguri, and we may be just about how many, 20, 30 churches who are meeting regularly for prayer. And what about the rest? What about the rest? So I don't know. There may be different issues we have to work through, but not all churches are excited as we are excited.
सिलीगुड़ी का मुख्य बात अगर बताई जाए तो जो कुछ भी हो रहा है उसके पीछे सैटरडे मॉर्निंग प्रेयर का एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, जहां पर हम लोग सिटी लीडर्स मिलकर के एक साथ मिलकर के प्रार्थना करते हैं। पहले नेपाली लीडर्स के साथ में शुरू हुआ, हम लोग प्रार्थना कर रहे थे कि और बंगाली लीडर्स ज्वाइन करें, और अब ऐसा हो रहा है कि बंगाली लीडर्स नेपाली लीडर्स से ज़्यादा हैं। और सिर्फ वही नहीं, साउथ इंडियन लीडर्स भी है, बिहारी लीडर्स भी है, मारवाड़ी लीडर्स भी हैं जो एक साथ मिलकर के प्रार्थना में समय बिताते हैं। मैं ये एक बात बताना चाहूँगा कि ये इतनी सफलता किसी दर्जे पर नहीं है, क्योंकि सिलीगुड़ी में 120 से भी ज़्यादा पास्टर्स हैं, कलीसियाएं हैं, लेकिन उसमें से हम लोग 20-30 लोग मिलकर के प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं। तो बाकी लोग कहाँ पर हैं? क्या उनको एक साथ मिलकर के मिलने के पीछे जो दर्शन है वो अभी तक समझ में नहीं आया? तो कहीं ना कहीं हमको वो चीज़ों को भी हटाना है और एक साथ मिलकर के प्रार्थना में समय बिताना है।
Anyone else want to respond to that question? What's going well? Yep.
Thank you, Tom. What's going well also is that we've been pleasantly surprised in this Mumbai morning prayer that we have. We've got about 100 people joining, but each one of them are downloading it to many other churches. There are many other churches who are taking these prayer points and praying them in their prayer meetings. So we tell them you can do that. So that is another about 30-40 churches are taking these points and praying them. So we can pray the same thing all through the city, same prayer points. And God is going to hear this, and the incense bowls are going to be full, and blessing is to come upon the land.
मुंबई के अंदर 100 लगभग 90-100 लोग एक साथ मिलकर के प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उससे ज़्यादा ये हो रहा है कि जो उनके प्रेयर पॉइंट्स हैं वो बाकी कलीसिया के 30-40 कलीसिया के लोग कलीसिया में इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। इन्होंने ये बोल रहे हैं कि हाँ, आप हमारे प्रेयर पॉइंट्स को लेकर के एक जैसा प्रार्थना पूरे शहर के लिए कर सकते हैं। तो ये बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है।
So let me turn the question around. What's not going well? What's discouraging? Okay, in the area of prayer. Joshua, you mentioned you would want many more congregations to join. That's not happening. Often we hit kind of a point of reality. So what are you finding discouraging, and how can we together here pray for your city so there will be an increase of breakthrough in that area? Anyone want to respond to that question?
एक और प्रश्न कि क्या चीज़ सही नहीं चल रही है, जैसे अंकल जोशुआ ने बताया, क्या चीज़ सही नहीं चल रही है और कैसे हम आपके शहर के लिए प्रार्थना कर सकते हैं?
As I said earlier, all our church leaders and pastors, they are so much focused only inside the church. But what is happening outside the church, they are not able to see. They are not able to catch the vision. To love your city, you must know your city. But they know only their church, they know only their congregation. They know only their believers, they know only their programs, and this is something very, very sad. Churches should exist for people in the streets who are walking without knowing Jesus. And this is the very sad reality, that pastors are so much focused with only their programs and their agendas, but not concerned about the people who are walking without knowing Jesus. So this is the sad part of the story.
और जैसे पहले ही बताया कि जो पास्टर्स हैं वो सिर्फ अपनी चार दीवारी के अंदर ही ध्यान देते हैं, अपने ही एजेंडाज, अपनी ही योजनाएं, अपना ही कार्यक्रम, अपने ही विश्वासी, बाहर क्या हो रहा है उनको पता नहीं है। तो जब तक शहर को जानेंगे नहीं तो शहर के लिए बोझ कैसे आएगा? और कलीसियाओं को होना चाहिए शहर के लोगों के लिए, जो नुक्कड़ गली के अंदर लोग हैं जो प्रभु को नहीं जानते हैं, उन तक पहुँचने के लिए। तो जब तक ये चीज़ लोग नहीं समझेंगे तब तक ये मूवमेंट आगे नहीं बढ़ पाएगा।
Anyone else?
Along with that, we face the same situation, and on top of that, we want to bring marketplace leaders in public sector. So that's not there in our group. That is a sad thing. Yeah.
और उसके साथ ही साथ हम लोग चाहते हैं कि मार्केट प्लेस से भी लीडर्स, पब्लिक सेक्टर से भी लीडर्स आएँ और साथ में काम करें। ये चीज़ नहीं हो रहा है, तो इसके लिए प्रार्थना करेंगे।
When we started this prayer, after some time we found that most of the prayers were being led by male pastors. So we decided to make reservation. 20% reservation for women, 20% reservation for youth, 20% reservation for market leaders. So 3 days in the week are given to them, and they are encouraged to come. So many of them who are not coming have come. Many youth have come. Many women have come. They're very shy in the beginning, but they're taking it up. Market leaders have come and gladly presented data from the marketplace, and it has helped greatly.
और मुंबई के अंदर ऐसा किया गया कि पहले देखा गया कि मूवमेंट बढ़ ही नहीं रहा है, क्योंकि सिर्फ जो पास्टर्स लीडर्स हैं मेल हैं वही सब चीज़ को चला रहे हैं। तो उन्होंने बोला कि अब हम रिजर्वेशन करेंगे 20% महिलाओं के लिए, 20% जवानों के लिए, 20% जो मार्केट प्लेस है लीडर्स उनके लिए। जब ऐसा किया गया, उनको भी निमंत्रण दिया गया, तो वो आकर के कई डेटास को हमारे बीच में बताने लगे और ये मूवमेंट बढ़ने लगा।
Can I tell one
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just forgot something I want to tell. At the peak of COVID, around May of 2021, our sister Angela's father was very sick with COVID, and we started a prayer movement every night without fail from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and that went for months together. And a group called Pray For Me Concern, Pray For Me, was born out of the vision of Brother Raj. And this Pray For Me took off in such a powerful manner that every night we were praying for COVID victims. And of course, Angela lost her father, but the prayer movement really, really grew every night. And it so happened that during the many COVID patients being brought to the medical college, they get something to eat because they come as patients. But what about the family members who come with the COVID patients? Everything is closed, no restaurant open, no shop open. And this is where the Church of Siliguri arose to the challenge of feeding those people. We thought it will be just about 200 people, 150 a day. That rose to 800, 900,000 people every day with breakfast and hot meals for a whole 1 month. And that was amazing to see the unity of the churches, the pastors, the leaders, Dr. Stephen, cooking away, and, amazing to see pastors just so full of zeal. And then I made up a rota as to say that, okay, it'll cost so much for one breakfast and so much for one lunch. And there were so many churches who want to contribute to this breakfast and lunch program for 1 month that a time came and I said, enough is enough. We don't need any more money. We have too much money. Okay? And then the tea gardens around Siliguri were closed for many, many years. And then we were able to do medical camps there, feed the people there. Amazing thing happened because of prayer during the COVID season.
Say, folks, in a moment I want to open this up for your questions. We have time for that. So if our tech people can get a roaming mic here in just a moment. But I want one last question for the group. Many cities here are probably at the beginning point, just getting started. And so a part of the vision of City Advance was to invite leaders from cities into the conversation, onto the journey. What would you say very practically would be maybe an ingredient or a component to get started? Okay, some might be sitting here saying, wow, we have none of this going on. There's not a lot of prayer activity. If you were to give maybe a word of wisdom, where to begin, what would you share?
और अगर ये बात बताया जाए कि कोई बोले कि हमको भी ये प्रेयर मोमेंट शुरू करना है, क्या करना चाहिए, तो आप उनको क्या बुद्धि की बात या ज्ञान की बात आप उनको देना चाहेंगे?
Catch the vision while you're here. God has brought you here to Siliguri for SACA so that you would catch the vision for city prayer. And you go, because you have come as teams, is it? Go and start the movement in your city. Start praying together. Be committed to prayer. You will see great things happen.
और आप साका में आए नहीं हैं, आप साका में लाए गए हैं। परमेश्वर आपको लेकर के आया और आप दलों में हैं, तो अपने दल में ये दर्शन को आप ले लीजिए, अपने शहर में जाकर के शुरू कीजिए। चुनौतियां आएगी, लेकिन प्रभु आपका मार्ग सीधा करेगा और एक बड़ा आंदोलन आपके शहर में भी होगा।
मैं एक वाक्य में बोलूंगा, अगर आप एक या दो भी हो, लगे रहो प्रार्थना में, लगे रहो।
For those who are starting city movement, one thing, something good that we did in our city prayer was that every prayer was accompanied by scripture. To make your movement strong, spiritual discipline is very, very important. So if this is strengthened, you'll get that burden. So having prayer points embedded with a word of scripture really reinforces and you get that vision, and if it's embedded in your heart, I think the movement will be very strong.
और ये आंदोलन तभी आगे बढ़ेगा क्योंकि हर एक प्रार्थना जो है वो पवित्र शास्त्र के साथ में संबंधित है। तो आप जितना ज़्यादा पवित्र शास्त्र को अनुमति देंगे काम करने के लिए, ये आंदोलन उतना ही आगे बढ़ेगा।
So I want to invite you into the conversation, okay? Anybody can have a question, just put your hand up, we'll get a mic to you. And you can ask very specifically of anyone on the panel or just the panel generally. So any questions? Feel free.
आप प्रश्न पूछ सकते हैं। पास्टर सुरजीत आपके पास है, माइक लेकर के आएंगे। आप या तो पूरे पैनल से भी पूछ सकते हैं, नहीं तो एक विशेष व्यक्ति से ही पूछ सकते हैं।